Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk with Chris Heidel. I'm Chris Heidel, along with Steve Zulich and the guy in Indiana who is getting set for the snowstorm, Big George Nishera here. George, I have something to show you. This is you. I was thinking about. I heard about the how many inches of snow you're going to have tomorrow.
He said it's up to 15 to 20.
Oh, 15 to 20. So this is George when he's so excited after the snowstorm.
I have those moves, man. Yep.
Yeah. So you just keep dancing. You're like, yeah.
I could do that while I'm pushing my snowblower.
Exactly. I was like, I saw that today. I was like, that's hilarious.
It's all good, man.
So it's gonna be you're gonna get a lot of snow and ice. We're gonna get rain on Thursday and then like ice maybe on Friday morning. Yeah.
Well, you can keep the ice part. I don't think we're gonna get. Hopefully, we're not getting any ice. That's gonna be to our south.
Right.
But they're pretty. I was quite surprised they have not had a snowstorm this big in 10 years.
Really?
I'm like, come on, this is northern Indiana, folks.
Well, back in 2010, we got nailed with a big one.
Yeah, we did.
We had 2 20-plus inch blizzards in the span of a week.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. My brother just moved to Maryland, and they said that you guys would never have snow like you did in Connecticut, and guess what they got?
Yeah. So, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. We're waiting for the coach from Towson University, Coach Matt Tyler, who is the head coach, TYNER, who actually played baseball down at the University of Miami. So it's funny, he's playing the first game of the year down at the University of Miami. And the funny thing is, he was actually a home run hitter down there in Miami when he was down there in college. So I asked him because he got drafted by the Orioles. I'm like, what happened to the power? He goes, I don't know. Yeah.
Space Jam.
Yeah, they probably jammed him. So, and at 7:45, Dot Richardson, the softball coach for Liberty University, she's famous because people don't realize that she hit the walk-off home run in the 1996 Olympics for softball. Yeah, so we'll talk to her about her program coming up at 7:45, and then 8 o'clock. Sherman Reed, the head coach at Coppin State University. We normally have Coppin State baseball. We do it once in a while here on the program. He'll stop by and talk about what's going on with his program. He's trying to get his program to the next level. It's a little hard when you don't have the resources like other schools do. But he does a great job, getting that resource up and well. And then around 8:15, we'll talk to the Fredericksburg Nationals manager, who is actually a JMU alumni, Jake Lowley, Lowley will be joining us. He will be talking to us about his first year down there in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And then at 8:25, we'll go back to Liberty Baseball and talk to Scott Jackson, who at the time, he's been at Liberty for a while. Before that, he was at North Carolina, and he helped some guy named Matt Harvey get to the major leagues.
Nice.
Yes. And then at 8:35, we have Josh Hausner, who is the Harvard Community College, local community college here in Maryland. He will be joining us at 8:35. And I know a lot of wrestling fanatics, and I know you're a fanatic, and this guy's a fanatic. This guy will be joining us, coming up, at 8:35 by telephone because he's traveling, so we're going to get him on the phone. Jimmy Hart will be dropping by with Chad Clark, who's the owner of IPO Marketing Group in Baltimore. So we'll talk about what they're doing this weekend in Southern Maryland. If the weather gets better, it should be okay for the weekend, but got to get through this ice storm coming up. So news of the day here. We're waiting for Coach Matt to join us here. You probably heard the MLB lockout update. They're going to be delayed as Tuesday negotiations have been going nowheres. Yeah. So what's your take on that? George, no baseball for a while.
You're talking about millionaires fighting about dollars.
Right.
Not much to say. I mean, it's a give and take, and then one side wants one thing, one side wants another. And I'll be honest with you, baseball was probably very close last year. We talked about this last time was very close to losing a lot of fans due to all the rule changes.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier about the with the 7 inning baseball. I know this gentleman who played baseball back in the old days, back when it was actually baseball. Coach Matt TYNER, who is a good friend from Towson University. Hey, Coach Matt, how you doing?
Doing fine, Chris. How are you?
Doing good. Happy New Year. I know you're excited, with baseball around the corner, except for Major League Baseball, but we got college baseball. People can come and watch the games. It's free.
There you go. It's the best and it's the most pure game left. So
Exactly.
Come on out and enjoy 9 innings of good hard baseball.
Exactly. So, how you been lately? I haven't talked to you since last spring. You guys made it to the CA baseball championships, and I was sitting there in my computer hoping you guys keep moving on, and you ran into a buzzsaw against College of Charleston. So I guess that's a good experience.
Yeah, I think the experience that we will take away from last year will be having made that conference tournament, obviously. And it was a nail biter. It went all the way down into the bottom of the ninth, and we had Cody Reeser, our fireman of the year, on the mound, and tough call. Runners on first and third, and the guy before their number one hitter was coming up, and what do you do? Do you walk him, or we flipped a coin on that, and we walked him, and then the first pitch he hit him in the butt with a breaking ball. So we forced in a run to lose the game on a hit by pitch. I'd seen it done, but never been a personal witness, and that was a toughie, and I think that took the wind out of our sails. We didn't exactly play very well against William and Mary, and I think getting to the tournament, that's a good piece for us. It was. So we'll build on that. We'll see what we can do this year.
Yeah, you guys were hot. It was funny when I was following you guys during the spring, and all of a sudden that whole month of end of February, early March, you guys started rolling. And it's like you finally got something connected. Like something was working. Like you guys actually are on the same page, and then all of a sudden it just kept rolling into. I'm like, wow, they're actually going to make something out of this.
Well, you're right. We started off like 1-13, and it was March 10th to be exact. And Coach Miller and I had a little conversation about, message, right? What kind of message was our team and our program, listening to, and as you know, I had experienced a little personal tragedy the year before, and he said, Coach TYNER, you need to really assert yourself and take back over. And, hey, we're going to win some games. We're going to lose some games. But the thing I want my guys to understand and believe in is that, I'd take a bullet for them and I'd jump in a foxhole with them, each and every one of them from 1 to 41. I don't really care. That's really what I feel about my guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they understood that. So on March 11th, I had a little sit down, if you want to call it a come to Jesus meeting, with my pitching staff, and the same thing with my position players. And we got to know each other again, and I quit pushing X's and O's, and I started patting backs and arm around shoulders. And when it comes down to it, man, they're 18 to 23-year-old kids, so they know how to play the game of baseball. I just had to let them play, just go play. Let's have some fun, see what happens. Let's go give it our best effort. And if it's not enough that day, then let's do better and see if it's better the next day.
Yeah, and baseball's freaky, because my dad was telling me some days you're good and some days it's your day. You could go 4 for 4 and 3 home runs and on, and then some days you could go for 0 for 5 and you want to go home and put your head underneath the pillow and try to commit suicide. Because it was terrible. And that's what baseball is, right?
Yeah, and I think you guys were talking about pro sports before, and there's a perfect example. Talent wins, right? Talent wins, except in baseball. You may beat the number one. You may beat the best team. It doesn't always work that way here. Professional sports, they're so close to one another. I mean,
right.
The talent is right there. And there's some discrepancy in Division I baseball from the top 25, top 50, top 75 down to 300. But the neat thing about our game is that on any given day, myself, Coppin State, Maryland Eastern Shore, Mount St. Mary, we could beat LSU.
Right.
It's just that all of the dominoes have to fall in the right line, and all of our ducks have to be in a row, and the stars have to line up. And my pitcher needs to have the day of, the career day that he's never had before.
Yeah.
But it could happen. And I was listening to a friend of mine, Drew Forcer, talk to my group last week. And he said, 3 words I want you to remember when you walk out of here today. You know what they are?
What are
Play
they?
small ball.
No, you never know.
Wow.
And if you
That should be on
play
a
like
shirt.
you
That should be on
never,
a shirt. Put it on a
Yeah.
shirt.
we're working on that as we speak.
Or have it like a patch on the uniform or something.
It's something cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. And I've got some creative kids that we have kicked around the idea of a shirt. We kicked around a patch. We kicked around, and you're exactly right. It is something that means a lot to us. And because we just shook our head, and we got something special over there this year. And I'm not sure how many wins it's going to produce, but man, we sure are having a lot of fun with each other. And for that, it was already the best fall I've had in 5 years at Towson. And these guys are a part of it. They're making it happen. I mean,
Right.
yeah. So we're excited about this year.
George, go ahead.
So, Coach, 3 things, right? Something always good, despite the loss, something good always comes out of it. You play one game at a time, one inning at a time, one game at a time. And the third point is you play for each other. That's the mix. And you hit all the important things that a coach needs to do with his student athletes. And that's encourage them. And there's a time to be a friend, and then there's a time to be the head coach.
Yeah.
And you get that.
Well, thanks. And, it's funny. A friend of mine is a professional speaker, and he has this approach that I bob into and I bob out of, just like anybody else, right? It's called the energized approach. And it really dwells on 5 key energy sources: commitment, communication, consistency, accountability, and respect. And if you can get all 5 of those things pumping, then you've got a heck of an environment to be a part of, right?
Yep.
And if we just go back and we do the litmus test on every one of those energy sources every day, and we ask our players to bring our A game. Well, how about us?
Absolutely.
we need to bring our A game too. So if we're not committed to the practice, we had a couple tough things that happened today. Like we were going to get on our turf, but the turf field was locked, and we couldn't use the intramural fields until they unlocked them, and that put us 30 minutes behind. And that wasn't good for us. We didn't have a plan B, the coaching staff. So I looked at it myself, was like going, hey, these guys you had them up here, and with each and every minute they're coming down here. Well, how am I going to raise their sense of awareness back? So commitment right there. We didn't do a good job. We didn't have a good plan B lined up. Right. So, and then, communication, I thought I did a pretty good job of not losing my, today.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kept it calm. I kept it cool. I kept it collected, and we got through it. But, if I do lose it, then what kind of respect am I showing to my fellow human being? And
yep.
I just made some phone calls, and we got in there, we got it done. And it's a heck of an approach, so that everybody knows that we're all in this together. And I just subscribe to it, and I'm going to make that a part of my coaching repertoire.
Exactly. First game of the year, you're going back home, sir. You're going back down to the U.
Yeah.
That's a little. Are you going to grab a bat this time and see if you can hit some home runs out of that ballpark?
I'm taking batting practice this year. You can bet on that. Yeah. Unfortunately, the year that we had, I was down there for that game, series, and that was about 15 days after my wife had died. So my guys I know they were playing for me, and they just played, that was a 2-1 game that we lost right there.
Yeah.
Burt Camper's 6 inches away from tying that game on that shot. And see that guy pitching?
Yep.
Well, he's the starter on Friday night, supposedly for Miami this year. So we are excited to be back there. Obviously, I'm going to be in full uniform. I can't tell you how excited I am to go back. And I can tell you right now, as I've told our guys, they better know every one of our offensive first and third plays, every one of our signs, because we're bringing everything, including the kitchen sink down there. I may be first and third in the first inning. We may be squeeze bunting in the second inning. We're going to be doing some hitting and running. I mean, if we've got a chance to get aggressive anywhere, anytime during this first game, we are going to blow it out, and we'll see what happens. I just think we've got the personnel that wants to play that way. So I'm going to take the bridle out of everybody's mouth, and we're just going to have some fun.
Just
Hey,
make it
because
fun.
us, it's going to be on TV. It's going to be on the ACC network, so I could probably sit here in my office and watch it. And I was rooting for you guys. That that was like 11 days before COVID. So I was sitting there going like, "Oh my god!" And I called my brother. I'm like, "Your Hurricanes are about ready to knock and going to lose to Towson here." And he's like, "What?" And
Yeah.
yeah. He goes, "Towson." I was like, "Miami's baseball is great." I'm like, "Not right now."
Hey, and just to talk about that Miami team,
Yeah.
you realize that Miami team was picked to win it. I mean, they're actually had some votes in their war chest to win it all, and they were. Josh Siles threw a heck of a game. I mean, he really threw a heck of a game. They really got his draft status up there.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he didn't get drafted the next year, but had the year continued, I believe he would have gotten drafted as a junior that year. So, it was all, what an experience for my guys. And you're right. 12 days later, boom, COVID shut it down. And it was like it never happened, right?
Switch.
Exactly. Well, Coach Matt, let me let you go. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll get you on before that Miami series, or if you want to call in from Miami, that'd be great. We're gonna get some over here. Yeah,
I'd love to. I would love to. It's going to be a great series. My fan base is traveling with us. We got like 75 people traveling down there with us, and some alumni are coming with, and our interim athletic director is going to go down there for that series. So, we're going to have some Towson people with us and make us feel at home. And we're really looking forward to it. And listen, I apologize for showing up late. Our practice went, we were indoor, outdoor, indoor. So it was kind of crazy. I ran home, jumped on the phone as fast as I could. So I apologize. I'm glad you guys picked me up. Thanks a lot, fellas.
yes, no big deal. Hey, I just knew you were. I didn't text you today. I'm like, I'm hoping that you remembered. I'm like, I forgot to text him. Like, yeah.
Well, we get so wound up right now that it is all about baseball, and you're sitting there with a anvil over your head, going, "Okay, I got 16 days left before we start. Are we prepared? What do we need to do?" So,
Hey, Chris, this is how he makes up for it. He beats Miami 3 out of 4.
That'd be good.
Miami 3 out of 4, but consider it no problems.
No problem, huh? You'll let me come back and chat again?
We'll let you into the state of Maryland. I'll call.
You got to win the series.
I tell you what, we get 3 out of 4. We're blowing into Maryland, man. I tell you that.
I'll just say this: you said you had the anvil hanging over your head. Are you the Coyote or Bugs Bunny?
Well, it depends. We go 0 for 4. I'm definitely Coyote. If we go 3 for 4, I'm all about being the road runner. You know what?
Nice. All right, Coach. Have fun. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Have a great week, you guys. God bless you all. We'll see
All
you.
right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, that's Coach Matt TYNER, the head coach of Towson baseball. Let's bring in this lady. I just found out this lady actually was very famous in 1996. Yeah, I just found that out last night. I was like, this lady hit a walk-off home run. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. So Coach Richardson with us, softball. So how cool was that to hit a walk-off homer? Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
I guess your phone.
I think he said, how did it feel to hit a walk-off homer?
Oh, you can't hear me.
I can't hear you guys.
We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Maybe log back in. Log back in. Let me write it. Log back in. Log.
Do you want to turn this off then?
I'll go the other way.
All right, let's try the different one. All right, we'll wait for her for a minute. We'll talk about that walk-off homer in a minute. Yeah. So yeah, this has happened with technical difficulties with technology. So, but it's true.
Yeah, but you should have no excuses, sir.
Oh, I don't have a ton on my end. I have Verizon. Yeah. So George, that'd be great if Towson could beat Miami 3 out of 4. That'd be like, yeah, they could do it. Yeah, you get your microphone.
Coach Tyner has the right mindset.
Yeah,
he really
exactly.
does. And the mindset that in successful coaches, they'll say they play one game at a time. It's just like football.
Mm-hmm.
They play one game at a time. They play one inning at a time.
Yeah.
There's nothing trying to work past what's right in front of you.
Let me see if she's here. We can hear each other.
Yep.
Can you guys?
Can you hear us? Yeah, I can hear you. Well, background. Yeah, we'll turn down the volume here a little bit. All right, can you hear me? Or you want to log back in?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Try the other one.
Okay.
I guess you heard me.
You guys good?
Yeah, we're good. Can you hear what I'm? I was asking you.
She can't hear you, Chris.
Huh?
I can hear you on my phone.
Okay, that works. Let's just do that way, folks. You gotta love technology. Yes, technology.
Gotta love it.
Love live broadcast.
Now just unmute your computer.
Yes, we know. It's the computer. But anyway, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing? Now she's muted.
Now she's mute.
Hit the microphone. There you go. How are you doing? You're muted. You're muted. We're having fun here.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now can you hear us?
I can.
Good, we can hear you.
All right, let's replay backwards. How are you doing?
Very blessed. Thank you very much.
Hey, you gotta love technology. Gotta love it.
Okay.
Anyway, I was asking you in the beginning when we were having technical difficulties. We have Coach Richardson from Liberty softball. I didn't realize you had a walk-off home run in a Olympic softball game. How cool was that?
It was fantastic. Thank you. Yes. I was
Really?
very blessed to have the first home run in Olympic history, but the biggest was the third one, which was the gold medal game. And by hitting that home run, 2-run home run, it was enough for us to win the gold. So for the first time in Olympic history.
Wow, that's cool. That
Was it one of those moments where as soon as you knew you hit the ball, you knew it was going out?
I knew it was gone. I just didn't know if it was going to be fair or foul.
Did you do the Carlton disc? Yeah.
Well, because I'm a lefty hitter,
Yeah.
when I hit it, when I saw it was a foot to the fair side of the fair pole, I was like, I knew it was enough to win.
Nice, awesome. That must be the coolest feeling, because you dream about that when you're a young girl, and me growing up too. I dream about hitting a walk-off homer in the World Series, and you're in your backyard, and you go, "Hey, here's the pitch, go on out of here."
Absolutely. And then when it became a reality, I was so inspired to write a book called Living the Dream. So the dream became a reality.
Nice. So how's your softball program going? You guys did a good job last year. Ran into a really tough JMU squad that went all the way to Oklahoma.
Yeah, we ended up RPI 19th in the country. On the coaches poll, we ended up 25, and that's out of 296 Division I softball programs. So God is working. He's moving through our program, and I'm very excited. We have a great mix of freshmen as well as seasoned veterans. Everyone is coming back in the circle for us, and we have our top hitter from last year back. The Bishop twins, we lost them after 5 years, one with a COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a great, strong transfer from the University of Michigan and from the University of Washington. So we're excited.
Nice. George, go ahead.
So, Coach, it must be nice to be able to practice outside. I mean, I know you don't have the snow like we do up here in the South Bend area. You're going to get a Notre Dame team that's been traveling on the road for about a month and change when they come into your house there. Coach Gumpf has got a pretty good team she'll be bringing down there to Liberty.
Oh, very good. We saw them last year at a tournament, and they're coming back this year. So I have seen a lot of her prospective student athletes that she has recruited, and they're very talented. So they're going to have a very strong team. We're going to be facing some really strong teams with this schedule. So I'm pretty excited about that too, because in order to become the best, you got to play the best and prove that you're better, right?
Absolutely. And is there an advantage of being able to play outside and not having to play such an arduous road schedule to start your season?
Hitters who hit 300 or above. Well, the interesting thing is that when I went to Western Illinois for 1 year, and we were inside a lot, and I led the country with a 480 batting average. So you have to focus a lot on fundamentals when you're indoors. However, there's no such, no replacement, I'd say, for the dirt. That's for sure. Then when I transferred to UCLA, it just was able to be outside quite a bit from California. But most of us will go down south or go to the west and get some games in. But the biggest thing is to win your conference, to have a strong RPI in order to get picked up for regionals.
Yeah, that's true. And you guys had to win your tournament last year to get in, right? And that was one of those, that was a nail biter at the Atlantic Sun tournament.
Yeah, for the ASUN.
Yeah.
We get picked up maybe, if you win the tournament, you're obviously in. But you might get picked up with RPI, but we don't have the luxury is you can be the last place team in, let's say, the SEC, and you get put in no matter what. So there are conferences like the ASUN and others that might get 2, but we know for sure we get 1. And if you have a really good year, maybe 3.
Right. I was looking at your early bird schedule. You got Kentucky, Northwestern, and Missouri. So you got some SEC you got to go through, and one Big Ten school. So that looks like a good test to start off the season so far.
Oh, it's going to be great. When you talk about that, we also, besides Kentucky, Northwestern, Missouri, we also have, as you mentioned, Notre Dame coming to us and Rutgers. We have Arkansas coming to us, Tennessee's coming to us, Duke, UNC, Virginia Tech. Virginia is going to be stronger this year as well. So we're going to have a lot of good games. We're going to play Louisville, Kentucky, right? Louisville, University of Louisville, where I went to medical school, by the way. So I'm excited about that.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, I remember you are a doctor. So how's everything there at the school with the this whole situation with COVID? Everything okay? Everything good? Because I think you guys are doing a great job. And I think the ACC has been looking into helping, getting their stuff together, and they're doing a great job too. So I guess Lowery University is doing a really good job getting this.
Well, the big thing is for this age group is they really don't get severe symptoms, So the Omicron has kind of gone through our team. So all of us, are ready to move on and do not get tested for 3 months, that type of thing. But, that can be a whole nother discussion. But I think the big thing is that everyone is healthy. And, if somebody gets it, they need early treatment.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I just had that issue 2 weeks ago. And, I tested positive, but I didn't have anything. So I was home for 14 days, but she had it. And she was 102 temperature. And I made sure she's back to normal now. So,
great. So she's doing well, right?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's enjoying her, getting herself and watching TV, and and she's back to being her fun stuff all the time.
She's going to have that nice immunity now, right? The natural immunity.
Yeah, she should be. She should be okay with she could fight that thing now. But it was very scary. She's like she had a bad immune system in the first place, and she's like I don't know if I can. I was like, well, we dipped it in the butt right away. I said I didn't play around with it. I called my mother. I'm like, hey, I need help here. Like, what do we need to do? And my mom's not a doctor. She watches Dr. Doogie Howser and all that stuff. And she just she's like, just make sure, make sure she eats, and then if she can't eat, just give her a lot of water and just let her sleep.
Oh yeah, the big thing is early treatment as well. And the frontline doctors, you can look at them too, what they're prescribing, and they're finding a lot of success. Using just different combinations and steroid and antibiotic, different things like that. But the key is we're learning more and more about it. And so it's so exciting to see that, we're starting to get to a point, hopefully, where this country can feel that there doesn't need to be so much fear about it.
Right, exactly. Well, Coach Richardson, thank you so much for coming on. Don't worry about the technology issue. We'll work again. We'll make sure we'll get that on better next time, and enjoy practice, and we'll talk to you soon.
Well, we're so excited. Thanks for recognizing us, and everyone, Go Flames. We are so blessed, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch us this year.
All right, cool. We'll keep in touch.
You got it. God bless you guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that's Coach Dot Richardson, the Liberty softball coach. Also, she's a doctor too, so it's pretty cool that there was a doctor in the house. So it's always, it's always good to have a doctor. Yeah. So it's 8:00. Thanks for joining us here. I would, I'll tell you who's coming up here shortly. Let me clean some stuff off here.
Coppin State.
Yes, Coppin State baseball coming up, and let's bring in my good friend, Coach Reed, joining us. Hey, Coach Reed, how you doing?
Chris, doing good. Happy to be here with you guys.
Happy to have you on. Happy New Year. How's everything going?
It's going well, man. When you're healthy, it's going well. We're now only about 5 days into the uniform start date for Division I to start practicing. We're about 4 days in, and guys are healthy, strong, ready to go get them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I was looking at your schedule this year. You got some good games coming on down there at Joe Cannon Stadium. And that's a good little stadium in the middle of right across from the gambling site. So
That's
some money
right.
on Coppin State baseball, and they're good to go, right?
Look, this year though we were thrown a little curveball, Chris. I'm breaking it on your show, man.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, they're gonna fully turf Joe Cannon Stadium, and they were scheduled to start the turf going in to take it from natural to all turf in November, but with supply chain issues and deliveries, they're not going to start turfing the stadium now until probably the first week in February, like any day now. So we're going to be moving to Blandare Park for a good bit of the season. That's a very nice facility in Columbia, Maryland. So we'll get that word out in a press release sometime real soon.
That's awesome. That's good. You get a good place to play in, and then you come back with a turf field. That's pretty interesting there at Joe Cannon.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So, George, go ahead.
So, Coach, with the season coming up, what's the one do different this year than you guys had last year?
I think what we'll do this year is we are going to field the baseball better up the middle. We struggled up the middle, quite honestly. So what we did was we were able to bring in some guys that can take care of the one area of our game I felt in the offseason we must improve in, and that was fielding the baseball better up the middle, particularly infield. I mean, outfield, I think we have one of the best defensive and offensive outfielders. All guys are back. If you batted less than 360, you weren't in the lineup, and we had that kind of depth in the outfield. We brought in two guys from with Division I experience, and Brian Nicholas and Corey Molly, and then we brought a really good junior college middle infielder in Tyler Mataloid. So those three guys kind of give us the experience and the high fielding percentage that we're gonna take advantage of going into the year. I think that's going to be the biggest plus or improvement that I feel we've made over top of this spectacular pitching that I feel that we have coming up for this 2022 season.
Yeah. I was looking at your schedule. You got to open up. You're going out to California. That's a long trip for Coppin State. So let's talk about taking on California Baptist. That's
going to be a good one. Yeah, they've won their conference 2 out of the last 3 or 4 years now. They're a top 30, top 40 baseball program. We're looking forward to getting to Riverside. It's not been easy with flights and the shortage of some of the flight personnel. We were able to finally get that trip taken care from the standpoint of the logistics of it. But we're looking forward to getting to Riverside, California. We have several West Coast guys on this roster, so I'm sure that they're going to be happy to get close to home for their families to take a peek at them as well.
Yeah, and get some home cooking for a while, for a couple games, and that's going to help you guys.
Oh yeah. We're looking, like I said, we're looking for it. We tend to try to go south and do something on a grand stage early, just to kind of get a feel for where we are as a ball club. And we're going to have some really good, talented freshmen that's going to be baptized under fire this year with that opening 3-game series against Cal Baptist.
Steve, you got anything? Nothing? Okay. George, you got anything? You're muted.
You're on mute, George. Usually, George, that's me on mute. You're on mute.
Unfortunately, my personal life has had some bleed over from my work life because my writing office is now where I do all my sports stuff too. And you'd think by now I'd understand the whole mute thing. So you have that road trip that you go out to California, and then you have it's not too far of a ride, but you go up to Navy, but then you get a nice little homestand.
Yeah.
And sleeping in your bed is not a bad thing after having a road trip like that. What, as a coach, when you start the season off with a schedule on the road like that, what do you got to do with the guys to make them, to go get it early? Because every game's important.
Yeah, and the one thing, George, I'm glad you recognize that schedule. It's a home friendly schedule. We have a record 31 home games. That's the most home games I think this program's ever had.
Wow.
And when you go on the road, the opening business trip really is a cohesive environment that you create early when you take a group of guys away from home that far away. We tend to be, there's a lot of bonding that's going to take place. We'll know a lot about this program and this team when we get back, because that's a lot of baseball, 3 9-inning games. There's a lot of 7-inning games, COVID 7-inning games now that's part of double hitters now, but we get the traditional 3-game series, 3 9 games. A lot of guys are going to get their feet wet right out of the bat. So we look forward to a trip like that early, because the bonding and team chemistry is going to play such an important part when you look at the fact that we got 14 new guys that wasn't a part of last year's roster.
Do you have anything planned other than for the team? You were talking about team bonding. Do you have any outside activity that you're planning for the team while you're out there? Because California, I went to California myself this past year, and that area's got a lot of different things to go see.
Yeah, what we tend to do is, particularly with our director of ops, we try to look at the sites around a given university. We've kind of been, pulled away from doing a lot only because of the surge in COVID. Yep. Things are still shut down. And there's that cautious approach where you play the game, you get the guys back on the bus, and you get back to the hotel. Often we're bringing food in now. So that's going to preclude us from some of the great sightseeing that we tend to want to do. When you have 3 games spread out over 3 days, you tend to have some openings and holes in the schedule where, you could take advantage of such sites like the one you're bringing up.
Exactly. We're here with Coach Reed, the head coach at Coppin State University. So, I'd like the same thing. I was looking at the schedule. Mm-hmm. It's always good to be, like you said, go to California and play in this MEAC, league. MEAC's a very good baseball league. Norfolk State took it last year. They went to the college, regionals and all that stuff. Are they still the team to beat, or who's the team to beat in each league?
I think when you look at the lineup, Chris, until someone knocks them off that 2021 Thorn, they're the team to beat. Obviously, I mean they got real hot at the right time. Really had a chance at winning one of those 2 games in the regionals last year. They played real well. They lost some really key veteran leadership on that team, but until you go in there and you beat them, I suspect they're going to be as good as ever. Coach Shoemate does a really good job on the recruiting trail, particularly bringing in ready-made guys, junior college guys. Then Dell State's always tough. University of Maryland Eastern Shore, they covered out last season, so they had a season where they didn't participate last year, but Coach Holloman did a good job keeping that group together, and you didn't find a lot of their guys out there on the transfer portal. So it's going to be very, very, very competitive. I love Perfect Games giving us a lot of love. I know their Mid Eastern Athletic Conference preview went live today. Someone told me, and they've I think they may have picked us to win it. And then there's several guys scattered along our roster that made their first team. We got the guy that's projected as freshman of the year based on their investigation of our conference, as thorough as they can be. So we're happy with some of the national publications that will probably pick Coppin, given the sheer depth that we have starting with pitching. We had to make a tough decision last year in the off season. I had to make a change in our pitching leadership and bring in a new pitching coach. And I tell you what, I told Coach Sean McPay, given what the pitchers did this past fall in terms of their progression, if we do the things that I feel we're capable of doing this year, we're going to call Coach Rapay the MVP of this ball club.
Hey, it's always good to bring in new pitching staff, pitching coach, because sometimes the message gets kind of like, muffled, or, you got to get a new set of blood in there to actually say, hey, get to the hitters, challenge the batters. My brother Will used to pitch, left-handed and right-handed.
Yeah.
And he told me I used to jam people inside. And he said, I don't see anybody jam anybody inside anymore because they're afraid of, breaking their hands. And he was telling me a story that he broke somebody's hand in elementary school. I was like, oh, that's good. I was like, how? And he goes, yeah, well, the guy was over the plate, and I'm trying to pitch inside, and and he snooze, he lose. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough decision because Coach Greeley had been with me for 5 years, and we did a lot of great things pre-COVID. With some of the records that went down in this program was a result of the hard work Coach did. But you're right, Chris, at some point, particularly when you look at the performance of our pitching in 2021, and we weren't that good. We really weren't. When you look at the stats, we were hanging around near the bottom in some key categories there.
Uh-oh. Did you hit him? Did you hit the button?
Sorry about that. So obviously, when you're, and that's my ops guy, Coach Watkins. I'm busy. I'll call you back.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Obviously, when you're near the bottom in several key categories in the all important pitching area, there had to be a change made there.
Exactly. Well, let me let you go because we're going to have Jake Lally from. Used to pitch for JMU. Now he's the Nationals, Frederick Nationals coach. So we'll talk to him.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
very good.
Yeah.
Guys, I always appreciate it. Chris, thanks for the invite, man.
No problem.
Yep. Everybody stay safe and go Coppin.
And also, let me let you guys, before I let you go, the folks at WNST does a great job with you guys. So hopefully you'll continue. Nestor's been on my program a couple times. Yeah, so it's he's a good guy.
That's been a good partnership. Thanks for mentioning that.
No problem.
Thanks again, Chris. Stay safe, guys.
All right, Coach.
See you, Coach.
All right, that's Coach Freed. Yeah, WNST here in Baltimore does the Coppin State games, and one year they forgot that they were supposed to do a game, and we did it. And Nestor, who we had him, Nestor Apstoricio, we had him on a couple weeks ago. He didn't realize who it was.
Oh, jeez.
He got all upset, and the guy at the Coppin State goes, yeah, he was upset, and I'm like, he knows who I am. Like I'm a phone call away. Just give me a buzz,
Right?
It was like that time, years ago, Chris, when we were doing the LFL down there in Baltimore, and they needed a play-by-play commentator because their commentator was running late, and they were up asking us, of the three of us, if any of us had like real deal broadcasting skills, of which I volunteered for. So
yeah, exactly.
I got to do like first 20 minutes of a LFL lingerie football game through the PA system at the Baltimore or Royal Farms Arena. So that was pretty cool.
That was fun. That's awesome. Let's bring in this gentleman he's actually a JMU alumni. He played baseball with JMU, the Dukes, down there in Harrisonburg, Virginia, or where my parents are. So if my parents are tuning in, hi. Yeah, I don't know if they're
like, who's this creepy person?
They probably wonder like, who's the haircut you got? But anyway, yeah, the barber. The barber is a very good hairstylist. And
Just put a bowl over your head.
exactly. So I was bringing Jake Lally, who is the new manager of the Frederick Nationals down there in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, and congratulations on getting the job. What was it like going back to the Commonwealth to manage a minor league baseball team?
I don't know yet, but I'm excited. I know I was down in Florida last season. So you're down in Florida for spring training, extended spring training, plus the season. And I'm just excited to get back home and kind of travel the state again.
Nice. What was it like playing college ball at JMU? Because I know now they're heading on to their new conference next year, and this is the final year of the CAA. What was it like playing in the CAA, and now they're off to do new, better things?
That was great. I enjoyed my time up there, my 3 years, and kind of playing around the state of Virginia and making some good trips down to Georgia State, up to Northeastern. Playing at the Diamond. I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was good mid-major baseball all the way around. And, I know the CA, they're moving on for football and, other reasons. But, the CA, we had a competitive baseball. Yeah,
and you guys are good teams. And also the complex is getting better, too, because you can see that from 81. It's beautiful. The facilities are getting better. And, I'm happy that Jamie's making that step to a bigger and better conference, and hopefully that could bring some more revenue into the in that Shenandoah Valley.
Absolutely, and we were fortunate. My sophomore and junior year, we were at the new stadium. So the old stadium was at Longmont, and it was good, but obviously it was outdated. But man, now it's with softball and basketball at the new arena, and football obviously being the forefront. Moving on to the new conference, it's going to be good for the entire institution. So we're really excited.
Yeah. Well, you spent some time with they used to be called the Indians. Now they're the Guardians.
Right.
I'm not used to having that name. I'm still
Which
used
is
to.
also now
I still call Chris. I still call it the Jake.
Yeah, the Jake. Let's call them the Jakes. Like I heard tomorrow with the the Washington football team, they want to call it the Washington Dukes. I'm like, come on, people. I'm like, that's not gonna work. But anyway, the Guardians, and then you went to the Nationals, and then that's how the Nationals. What was it like getting a phone call from the Nationals saying, hey, we really don't have any plans for it, but would you like to be a manager? What was it like that phone call?
It was more like a transition. So I would say like my last season in 19, 20, I was signed as a player, so I still was going to play. It kind of just ended up being, what I want to do best for my family. If I'm not going to, train all off season and, put all this kind of time and effort in, if I'm only going to play like, 10 to 20 games out of 142 games. And it was always something I really wanted to do, is manage and coach in professional baseball. And, just having those conversations with upper management and player development staff towards the end of my career, I was more like, hey, this is something I really want to do. And if I'm a candidate for the job, then, let it be. So it ended up being really good and had a great time down in Florida, learned a ton from, guys that had previously done it before. And I'm excited for the new challenges up in Fredericksburg.
And you guys have a very nice ballpark. I haven't been there yet, but that looks a lot better than that hole in the wall in Woodbridge.
Oh, the fits, man. Yeah, the fits.
Oh
I won't miss the sun being in my eyes in left field. And the stadium itself was obviously outdated, for and a lot of reasons, but the field its surface was great. But I'm excited for the new ballpark. It's state of the art. Everything's obviously brand new, and they do a good job, and it'll be fun this season.
And I can't believe Barry Bonds played there. I was like,
we were in the same locker room with Barry Bonds. I know.
Like, really, Barry? Yeah. Because I went there a couple times for a game, and nothing wrong with the stadium. And I'm looking at it going, this looks like a high school field with
right.
Like they put up like a couple flash boxes over there, and
there's no awning for the sun, and it was definitely Albert Pujols played there, a lot of guys, but man, it'll be exciting in Fredericksburg.
Hey, that's growing pains. That's what you get. You know, you
That's
go
right.
from the hole in the wall to the Taj Mahal now. So that's like, you know, yeah. So
Correct.
sure. You got anything?
I was going to say, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be the only deal in town. There's no Major League Baseball, so you guys are going to get a chance to go out there, right, and show off your stuff, and people are going to be able to see some balls hit, and they're going to want to come see you guys play.
Yeah, I know with the lockout situation, minor league baseball goes on as usual, so we'll be going down to spring training the 20th of February and kind of get through our early camp and go through our regular minor league spring training, and then whatever the chips may fall, the big league team, that they'll figure that stuff out. But yeah, for us, man, we're April 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that. We open up and we're business as usual.
Yeah, and basically, like George just said, the only game in town if this whole lockout sits right in minor league baseball is a whole separate division, so you don't have to worry about Major League Baseball saying, "Hey, you can't play today." It's like you guys can play all the games. And I remember the last strike we had was 1994, and I remember like TV, the ESPN people put on like minor league baseball, and they put on this and that, and it was
I remember
cool.
that.
It was pretty cool to watch different organizations playing on ESPN. Like we got the Mets AAA affiliate, taking on the Astros or whatever they were. And
Right.
I think I feel like they're going to do that again. It's going to be. You guys are going to probably be on ESPN with a Sunday Night Baseball crew. With David Cohn and what's his name?
You take your one.
We'll take it if we have to, man. But yeah, we'll see what happens with everything. Hopefully they get that situation, locked in and locked up. But yeah, man, we're business as usual. We're excited. Either way, I know guys are getting that itch to go down to spring training and kind of get started.
Hey, get rid of all the snow. You're ready to go. It's
That's
like
right.
when the calendar's flipped over to February 1st, you're like, all right, a couple more weeks and baseball is going to start.
That's right. You start getting your pants and everything all situated. You're like, man, I'm packing 3 weeks ahead of time, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
What was it like down in spring training at the new facility you guys are sharing with the Astros? Is it pretty cool, that complex? Because it used to be the Expos and the Braves used to have that way, way back when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah, they did a really good job in West Palm. So, we share the big league stadium with the Astros. We kind of park in the same area, players and stuff, or not player anymore, but player staff, they kind of park in the same area. So you really don't see them that often, but man, they did a really good job. They, the fields are plush. That's just nice. It kind of reminded me when I came over from Arizona, just every field's really good. The backfields, the clover, not just the big league field. And where they were in Melbourne was just a little, it just wasn't as good. It just wasn't upkept as well. The big league stadium was fine, but the side fields, I think they knew that they were going to leave at some point. And the West Palm Beach stuff, man, they did a great job.
Yeah. Hey, George, you got anything?
I was going to say, Coach, are you guys tied into this whole robotic umpire calling this season, or is that in a different division?
I think it's only a certain teams in AAA, so I don't think it affects the Rochester Red Wings at all, from what I can see. But I don't think it's going to be us. But yeah, that'll definitely be something we bring up in spring training. Just like every rule, and like last year with all the rule implications in high A and double A and AAA, and man, we were going over things like left and right, and I'm like, this doesn't affect me, and I don't think this is going to affect the game very often. And then obviously, like at the All-Star break, they just banged a bunch of those rules, like the step off. I mean, I was like, this, I don't know why they did that, but they wanted to control it and see what they could do, but none of that really kind of held up.
I was waiting because the Atlantic League had that robotic, strike zone, and I was waiting for Wally Backman to go up there and start beating the crap out of it. I'm like, like you got a computer tell you strike one. You
Right.
got to have a common sense where your strike zone is, not like
Where you see the pitch come in and stuff. I know exactly. The catchers like vacuuming balls off the ground and waiting for a little second in the beep, and they're like, "Yep, strike 3, you're out." It's just it's just not the game.
It's not going to work.
We got New York on line 1. What is it?
Right.
Is that what Fred? What?
Right.
Well, the first game of the year for you guys are going to be hopefully April 8th at Delmarva, and Delmarva is pretty good, Orioles, low A baseball, or high A. I think it's high A. I think Aberdeen is low A.
Aberdeen is high A. I'm looking at the
Oh,
website.
Aberdeen is high A. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's all messed up now. It's
Oh,
like,
I know. Yeah, they switched a lot of things up.
Yeah, and you have 9-game series now, so it's like you see them
I
more than like a 3-game. Like those series games last year, the 6-game series. I understand they want to keep the COVID thing down, but it was like you see the guy in game 1, and then you go, oh, he's coming back in game 6. It's like
Right.
okay.
It's interesting. It's interesting with the series, with the 6-game series, man. You get to see 2 starters at a time. So it's like if you didn't do well the first time, you better buck up that last getaway day, man, because we got you're facing the same team, same lineup. So that'll be interesting for these guys to kind of make adjustments on the fly with just seeing one team.
Exactly. Well, Jake, thanks so much for coming on. Good luck with the rest of the your break, and have a safe trip down to Florida. And we'll hopefully, Steve and I will make a trip to Fredericksburg. It's just right off of 95.
Yeah,
it should be a good. You can see it from the probably the lights will be on. Like, hey, that's something new over there.
Right. Yeah. No, appreciate you guys having me on, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys, and you come say hi down in the dugout.
All right, man. We will. We'll have a safe trip to the down to Florida.
Good luck,
Appreciate
Coach.
it, guys. Yeah,
Right,
thank you, guys. All right.
Also,
All
if
right.
you notice,
Hmm?
Ironbirds changed their logo.
Yeah, I know,
for their
exactly.
20th season.
Exactly. Well, let's switch gears here. We'll go back to college baseball. We got our good friend, Coach Scott Jackson from Lowery Baseball. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Everybody's saying
Yeah,
you.
Coach.
Hey, you got me now?
I got you now. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Not bad. We're just tonight. I decided to do a show of baseball to get everybody in a warm feeling because it's 20-degree weather and below zero stuff. I'm tired of it. Just
Man, tell me about it. I tell you, you practice and you stand out there for 3 or 4 hours, and it gets in your bones. At least it does mine.
Yeah. So talk about last year. You guys had a great season. You guys made it to the tournament. You ran into a tough Tennessee squad who basically that one batter looked like I think he knew how to hit Jake Leiter a couple times. And it's all that couple games, but tough regional. What did you learn from that?
Yeah, it was. It was RPI wise, it was the toughest regional. When you look at the 4 teams that were in that regional, I think our average RPI was far and away the toughest regional. So you knew that going in. We didn't play well against Duke in the regular season, lost both games to them. So, that was kind of some redemption for us. I really wanted our kids to be able to experience playing Tennessee in that ballpark, and we got a chance to do that twice. It didn't go our way, but I think the growth and the experience that we got from that hopefully factors in, to the season for us, up ahead. We open up down at the University of Florida, so here we go. We'll jump right into another SEC ballpark, and I'm just looking forward to seeing our kids, in that environment. Building off of what we had in the regional.
Talk about playing against the Gators. They're always good. Good team. Just by the time the tournament comes around, and that SEC is very good as well. And I've seen some Florida State Florida games in baseball, and it seems like there's been battles back and forth. It's one of those classic games. You guys get a chance to see them in Gainesville.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Florida, Sully's done a great job there. I mean, that program's, you know what you're getting when you go down there. You're going to play a, top 10, top 15 caliber opponent. And, they've always been good on the mound. There's going to be pitching depth galore there, right, left, and, just some different looks. I think it'll prepare us. I think it won't be anything our guys will, be overwhelmed with, but it'll be certainly a good table setter for us. And we'll find out a lot about our team early. I really like the pitching depth that we have. And we'll put that to the test and put it in the fire right out of the gate. So it should be good for us. And, hopefully we can go down there and play really well.
George, go ahead.
Coach, you got a nice home schedule. You go on the road for those 3 games. You got a 4-game homestand. You go on the road for 1 game, and then you're home for, looks like 5 or 6 more games. That's a good way to start the season. You get, as we just talked to one of the other coaches, people getting to sleep in their own beds, to start a schedule. That's a big help there.
No, it is. And, it's sometimes for us, George, it's tough scheduling wise. I really, try to load up with, ACC teams and out of conference teams. And, that's what got us in the tournament last year. We had, I think, the number 9 RPI non-conference last year. So, we like to challenge ourselves, but at the end of the day, when those guys say, hey, here's what fits our schedule, I really don't argue with them. I want to make it fit and make it work for them to get in here. So some years, like last year, it was road heavy for us to start the season. And this year's, a little bit of the opposite. So we've been good in our park over the last 2 or 3 years here. So that helps. I think our roster's built to play well in our ballpark. And so hopefully that, bodes well for us to kind of get your feet underneath you, if you will, and get some confidence and some momentum as we start into conference play.
Yeah. Coach, I know you had a story you told me a couple of years ago. You were down in North Carolina, with the team down there before we became Liberty and all that stuff. And you had some guy named Ripken stopping by. Yeah, I heard that story you told me. I just thought about it right now. Tell the people about that story. It was like during spring football, and you had to try to get them around that stadium, and like all of a sudden somebody was doing some radio event or something like that, and like you're like, oh, there's Cal, we're done.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I have to preface that with I'm a lifelong Orioles fan. I love Baltimore. I'm just through and through Baltimore Orioles. I always will be. Times are kind of tough right now, but my childhood was Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken, and I'll just cling to those memories. And so there's not too many people on this earth I'd be nervous meeting. But Kelly, Cal's ex-wife, called, and Ryan was coming through, so they wanted to visit North Carolina, and so I had a chance to spend time with Cal and Ryan and Kelly, and so I was trying to do my best to just make sure it was low key. It was all about Ryan, and just try to kind of maybe go around the corner and kind of take the back way, if you will, to certain routes around campus. And sure enough, it was a spring football game, and we went down in the football locker room and kind of looked around down there. And I thought, well, we'll just go out the other entrance here and kind of work our way around up to the academic quad. And we came out the door and went around a corner, and they were doing a live ESPN radio show. And here I'm dragging Cal Ripken in front of a live radio show, and about 200 people standing out there. Of course, they recognized Cal, and I felt bad about it, but when you're 6'4" and 225 and your face is as recognizable as his, it's going to happen. But I just wish I would have been a little bit better about trying to keep it hush hush.
Yeah, I had a story almost similar to you. I went to Frederick, Maryland, where the Keys are playing, and I was like, all right, I have a media pass, so I'm in the press box, and here comes Cal coming in the press box. I'm like, what's Cal doing? So it was just Cal and me and his new wife watching the game, and I'm sitting there going, am I supposed to do something here? Because I'm like sitting there going, I'm trying to pinch myself, wondering if I'm dead or
and you got to maintain that media professional image.
Right. Act cool, no big deal. Yeah.
No, it's just Cal Ripken.
Yeah, he was.
I know.
We had a good time. We had a good time talking, and I said to him, like, "Hey, Cal, you want me to get your pretzel or anything?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "All right." But I asked him the stories, and I asked him, like, who was your best? He was making fun of the umpire. I said, who was the best umpire you ever? Yeah, he told me the story about this one umpire. It was Derwin Merrill, and one time he's playing against some guy, and he was called strike 3, and Cal looks at the umpire and goes, "What was that?" He goes, and Derwin Merrill goes, Cal, that was a Hall of Fame strike from that pitcher out there, okay? And Cal goes, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. What the hell is that?
And Cal's so good. Cal's so good about making you feel comfortable. And I mean, for me, it's two people. It's Cal Ripken and Michael Jordan. I just, I'm starstruck by those two guys.
I'm sitting there like, and then after I'm done, I'm like, am I supposed to do anything? So I said to him, like, well, I hope to see you down the road. He goes, yeah, I'm going to go see you, Chris. Have a great evening. I'm like, you too. Have a safe trip home. And I get in the car and I call my brother. I'm like, this is what I had in the press box. And he goes, who? I was like, Cal Ripken. He's like, did you get his autograph? I'm like, no, ass. I'm not going to get his autograph.
Find the press box.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. But it's funny. Speaking of that, all these people came up to the press box going, hi, Cal. I'm a friend.
Oh, sure.
Of this guy. And I went to the bathroom with this guy. I'm sitting there going, Cal, how do you deal with this? He goes, I just had to do it. It's one of those things, And I was like, these people are just coming out of the woodwork. Like, my dad loves you since you were 4 years old. And I'm like, what? It's like, come on, people. But the next day, my dad is a big baseball guy, and I said, I'm doing my oil change. I'm like, Dad, I had a great evening last night. He goes, what'd you do? I go, Carol's in the press box with me. He goes, who, Ripken? I was like, yeah. He goes, how'd you pull that off? I'm like,
He's Cal Ripken.
and I told him the stories. My dad goes, well, son, you had a time of your life and enjoy it. That was,
Yeah.
it was like, you will never have that again.
Or what about the time we're doing the game of the Ripken World Series and they're getting ready to do a game and
it came out of it.
You told me he's come out of the bathroom. You heard
somebody flushed the toilet and Cal's like, oh, sorry. I'm like,
and he
really?
comes out of the bathroom and they're playing the national anthem and Cal's like, oh, whoa, wait.
Yeah, it's like, really, dude? Oh my God. But it's great, the cat wants to talk about it. What do you know about Cal Ripken, Petey? Anyway, the cat's just trying to get on TV. But anyway, it seems like you guys are going to have a great season. You got North Carolina coming. You're going to play North Carolina again. So that's going to be one of the exciting times for you playing against your former mates.
Yeah, no, it's always it's actually not that fun sometimes. I got a former assistant coach that I coached and worked with at North Carolina that was actually my pitching coach our first 3 years at Liberty, Bryant Gaines, and then Scott Forbes, the head coach, was in my wedding. So it's kind of not fun. One of us has got to lose, and it's one of those things where playing your friends sometimes isn't a lot of fun. And once during the game, it's fine, but once it's over with, it's not a lot of fun.
Exactly. You have one more thing.
Yeah. Speaking of the fact with the Orioles, have you heard what they're doing to the ballpark? What's your opinion?
Yes. I'm in. maybe we'll get some free agent pitchers to sign with us that aren't afraid of that porch. It's needed. I think I like it. I think Mike's doing a great job there. Mike Elias is a friend and somebody that I was so excited to see him take over there. So it's a process that I think we'll all continue to be patient with, obviously, but I'm enjoying watching where he's going with it, and hopefully they can have a better year and kind of get this thing moving in the right direction.
I mean, I've been a lifelong Orioles fan too. I go, before COVID, I'd go to like 15, 20 games a year, and I'm just so used to seeing that, short field, that short porch there and left. Now it's going to be, hopefully we go down there this year, and it's going to be like, wow, that's a whole different change in the face of the ballpark.
Well, I think too, I think I saw a statistic where there was a certain number of home runs. It was a lot that went out to left field at the yard that wouldn't have been a home run in the other 29 parks, which that's pretty alarming to me.
A lot of them were line drive home runs.
Yeah.
In fact, I can contest to that. I was back in my high school days. I was down there with a friend, and I got a ground rule double off Melvin Mora that area hit the warning track and came up and bounced up right up to me. So
yeah,
exactly. Well, Coach, thanks so much for coming on tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a safe trip down to Gainesville, and hope you beat those Gators, because I don't like the Gators at all. So just sweep them. All
right, guys. I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Scott.
Take care.
See ya. That's Coach Scott Jackson from Liberty Baseball. It was really good to have some good conversation there. So, well, I guess somebody's going to be bebopping out of here. Yeah, hold on. This is the new theme music.
That'll be me tomorrow. I have to get the snowblower going, and I'm removing snow. So that'll definitely be me. Where do you get those moves?
I don't know, man. I saw it on TikTok the other night. I was like, that's pretty funny. I was laughing so hard, But well, I know you got some family stuff you got to take care of, So, being a
Good luck.
dad.
Good luck with the rest of the show, and we'll definitely talk about that other item.
Yes,
Sure,
and we'll also talk about next week. We'll do some Super Bowl stuff, because they're going to do some on virtual. So
good stuff.
So I'll keep you informed. So all right,
take it easy, guys.
All right, buddy.
All right, see you.
Have a good night. See ya.
All right, so that's Jordan Bashir rolling out, doing his disco thing. Let's bring in Hartford Community College baseball coach Josh Hauser, who is up there at Hartford Community College, getting ready for the season. So, Coach, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys? Just braving the cold weather up here.
Yeah, that's why we're doing baseball tonight because it's like I want to get this. I'm in baseball mode right now because
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to get this season underway for Major League Baseball, but it's like these people are like can you get on the road here? Like sheesh.
Absolutely. It's weird with the holdout and everything. I hope the season just starts on time, honestly.
Exactly. So talk about your squad. You guys, every year it's quiet up there, and people don't realize you have a great baseball program. So just talk about you guys going on.
Yeah, no, we're really excited about this year's group. I think last year we had a good group, but I think COVID and just some outside factors maybe didn't lead to the success that we wanted to have maybe at the end of the year. But a lot of new faces, just a really good group that I think all relatively speaking really get along, and they've all kind of come together really really well. And we're super excited about this spring. We get rolling here in about 10 days, and can't really speak highly enough on all the hard work they've put in, and we're definitely super excited though.
Yeah, talk about that when you have these kids that come in that are coming in from high school that have been, they pitched through high school and
Mhm.
possibly younger in their lives. How do you get them developed, to be a better ball players? I mean, me, I play rec ball with just a couple friends, and it's just usually just going to a baseball field and hitting a bunch of baseballs around, and it's
Yeah.
just try to see who can hit one over the fence, and it's
I tell you, our guys try to do that too, but um, no, I think at Hartford, honestly, like from a resource standpoint, we're so fortunate with the facilities and things at our disposal, and I think that's a big thing that really allows our guys to kind of promote their growth that we want to see on the field. First and foremost, without having the resources, sometimes you aren't able to progress guys at a certain pace that you want to. But I really think it comes down to the players too. Our guys, especially this group, like I said, they have a really good understanding of who they are, like each individually, and the things that they need to work on. And there's just some common ground there from the coaching staff, from the player, and that relationship, and just really trying to find where each guy's, I guess, deficiencies are, and do our best to kind of check those boxes off by the time they're out the door, really, because it is a quicker turnaround here to junior college. So
yeah. And there's also the thing with the I know last couple of years have been kind of funky, with the whole COVID situation and everything.
yeah,
But it's you're hoping that they're going to have a little bit more ease of restrictions to have maybe more fans at the games.
yeah, no, I think we're hopeful this will play a full 56. That's our number one goal. The past 2 years, I think, is my going in my third year here as a head coach, and I was just telling some of my assistants the other day that I've been here 2 years now, and I've barely eclipsed one full season a game. So hopeful to get through a full year this year and play as much baseball as we can.
Yeah, you opened that. I'm back. I had to make a phone call, but
Mhm.
you're heading down to Florence, South Carolina. So going south should be warmer instead of going north. Hopefully.
Hopefully, I've seen the weather down there the past couple of days, and it looks just as cold. So I would say the cold weather may give us an advantage. So maybe it should stay that way for us.
So so talk about that series coming up. You're playing against the Florence Darlington. I guess that's a university there or community college.
It's a community college. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played them before.
Yeah, this is actually our first time playing them. Yeah, no, we tried to get them on slate in previous years. It hasn't really worked out. Worked out this year. Flodar is a really really good program. A lot of high caliber players. They made the Junior College World Series last year. I think their preseason the rankings just came out last week. I think they were 18, 19 in the country. So perennial really good program down there. A ton of really good arms. A ton of really good bats. We're just excited to go out and play really good competition to start our year and really see how we can hold up. I know I know they got some games already, so they'll probably be 8 to 10 games in or so. But we're just really excited for the opportunity and really to get out and play ball.
Yeah, at least down there, the weather should be a lot better. Yeah, because I know being down there, my parents live in the Carolinas. They've been down there now 10 years, so. And they retired because they were like me. They're getting tired of this, 20, 30 degree weather, and I work in an open air warehouse, so it's
Yeah.
quite brutal, especially when it's 20 degrees, blowing 30. Yeah, you're sitting there like it's just miserable.
Yeah, I after shoveling snow off the field the past couple of days, I definitely could use some nice weather for a little bit. So, hopefully we can get some nice weather down there.
All right. So thing for your program that again, you got a lot of developing kids coming up. That's what are your outlooks for the rest of the season?
Honestly, I really think this is probably the most balanced group we've had in a while. Just on both sides of the ball, I think our pitching has really come along. A lot of guys have really worked hard on both in all aspects, in the weight room, on the mound. I'm really excited about where our pitching staff is right now, especially early season. Obviously, we've been back practicing here for coming up on a month now. A lot of preseason bullpens go into that. Guys start at a lower capacity and end up at a higher volume, higher intensity, and everything. Really excited about the staff, though. I think they've really come together well. I told them last week, like, we look really good right now, but obviously we got a lot of time before the season starts, and a lot of boxes is still to be checked off throughout the season. But I think outlook, like, I think everything. We play everything by ear. We're like try to take it one game at a time. We could be really excited about one thing right now, but when it comes down to it, once we start playing the games and seeing how we perform, we'll really have a better understanding of who we are and stuff like that. But for now, looking ahead to the season, I think the preparation from all of our guys has been second to none, and they've prepared themselves for success. So, like I said, we're hopeful to see what the product looks like once we get into some more game scenarios. But we're really excited right now, at least with where we're at, given that it's February 1st now.
Yeah, and also with some of your past players, if any of them ever gone on to like get into like the minors or even make it all the way up to the major level?
I don't think we haven't had anybody get to the major league level yet. We've had multiple guys get to the minor league level. We had one player last year who's now playing some independent ball. So kind of a mixed bag. It depends on what year, but definitely have had guys in that situation before, and hopeful to have some in the future.
Is that in the independent baseball league, like with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs or Lancaster
Yeah.
Farmers?
Yeah. We have a couple former players in that league right now, actually.
Yeah, because one of the places I like to go every year is down to Southern Maryland because they're down there in Waldorf. They got a fairly nice stadium down there.
Yeah, yep, they do.
Crabs, and it's a good environment.
Absolutely.
But yeah, then again, with the weather, it's just got to be like up and down in that category when you go out to play. Like you never know what you're going to get. It's like I've always told myself up here with the weather, it's like Florida in the summertime. You wait 5 minutes, the weather changes.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a roller coaster. We've been inside for the greater part of a month here. Our players just started classes this week, so we've been outside the first 2 days this week. We're going to be outside pretty religiously here for the next couple of weeks leading up to the season, barring some snow, obviously. But we've kind of bridged that gap for a while, and now we got to brave the elements a little bit more.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for coming on tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
See you too, Coach. Have a good one.
All right. So let's bring him along and off here. Thanks for joining us here, folks. I've been running around because when you do stuff like live radio, you got to make sure you got everybody on. So we got
cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yes, we do. So we have Jimmy Hart, from the WWE or WCW Hall of Famer. And we got Chad Clark, who runs the organization down there. They'll be doing a special thing this weekend down in Southern Maryland. So, Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Chad, thanks for joining us. How are you guys doing?
Well, for myself, I'm doing great, man. I'm sure Chad is doing great too. I'm on my way back to Tampa from Daytona Beach, Florida. I had a little personal appearance up there tonight, and just looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. Chad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Got it.
Yeah. So just talk about this event this weekend down there in St. Michael's County. You guys are having a big celebrity fest, pretty much.
Yeah, on Saturday, we're going to be in Hollywood, Maryland at the Volunteer Fire Department in the home at 24801 Three Notch Road. We got over 25 superstars in the building on that day, some merchandise vendors. Maryland Championship Wrestling will follow us with a live show. So we're looking really forward to that. And then on Sunday, we're in Glen Burnie, Maryland at LaFontaine Blue on 7514 Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie, 21061. And we have over 55 stars in the building with the MCW matches following us as well.
That's cool. So, Jimmy, I was doing some research about it. My friend Steve and I have been wrestling fanatics since we were like little kids because we used to enjoy. I had your action figure when I was a kid, one of those WWF action figures, and we used to beat the crap out of that whole thing. So, we had marks all over it. But what was it like getting a toy like that, like a figure, and knowing that you're one of the famous people in WWE or WWF?
Well, you know what? It's been awesome. Sometimes I look in the mirror and pinch myself and go, did I really get paid for doing this for over 40 years? I started in Memphis, Tennessee with Jerry the King Lawler. And then I had the magic phone call from Vince McMahon. I went to New York City and I was on the first WrestleMania, which a lot of people can't say they were on the first WrestleMania. So I was tickled pink that I made that because really, if that hadn't been successful, we probably wouldn't be talking on the phone now. So like I said before, to have the first wrestling action figure, being part of the group that had them out, me, the Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, John Studd, the list goes on and on and on and on. And, every year we've had a few out. I've had, I think altogether 7 or 8 by the WWE. I've had a couple by WCW. And like I said, it's just been a thrill for me to have the socks, the T-shirts, the jackets, and all the memorabilia that's been out through the years. It really has.
Yeah. Well, I was doing some research on you. I didn't realize you were part of a band back in in 1965, and there's a song called "Keep on Dancing." What was it like being a rock star? They call it a garage rock. To me, I feel like it's just oldies now. But what's it like having a hit song that everybody recorded it from, like the Bay City Rollers, and and you hear it now, you're like, I heard it yesterday. I'm like, I know that song. I heard it a lot on the.
Your homework. You've done your homework, right? The Bay City Rollers, I think 10 years after we had it out, had a $1 million record off of it too. Well, you know what? We were very lucky to tour with Dick Clark Productions, with the Beach Boys and Sonny and Cher and Chuck Berry, and the list goes on and on and on. But like I said, we were in high school and we entered a talent contest and we won, and they took us down to Miami Beach, and we went down there on Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour, which was kind of like the American Idol back then. And we won. A month later, they called us back down. We won 3 different times, and then we finally got disqualified because we'd signed a record deal by then on MGM Records. And so, like I said before, I've really never had a plan for my whole career. I got into music, that really wasn't planned. And then from there, to the crazy world of professional wrestling through Jerry Lawler in Memphis. And then, of course, met the Hulkster down there, and we've been friends for over 43 years. And like I said, it's just been a whirlwind ride for me all these years in music and wrestling. And I was lucky enough to do some of the theme songs that Vince had me do. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Sexy Boy Shawn Michaels, the Hart Foundation, the Road Warriors, What a Rush, the $1 Million Man, Money, Money, Money. But like I said, it's just, sometimes, like I said before, I look in the mirror and pinch myself and go, I really get paid for doing this all these years. It's been great.
That's awesome. My buddy Steve has a question for you.
Hey, Jimmy, that's a very pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Just want to talk about some of the startings of your career when you had Jerry Lawler bring you into Vince McMahon to audition to be a wrestler. How was that like for you, knowing that you were actually going into the big leagues?
Well, what really happened, I started with Jerry Lawler down in Memphis and doing music with him first. He cut a wrestling album, and then the next thing you know, I'm managing him at ringside. And I did that for almost 6 years. And then, like I said before, a good friend of mine, Hillbilly Jim, when he was in our territory, he was Harley Davidson. But when he went to New York, they changed him over to Hillbilly Jim. So he called me one day and said, look, Jimmy, he said, WWE's been trying, WWF back then, has been trying to get a hold of you. And I never called him because I thought it was a bogus number, somebody just playing like they wanted me to go to New York. So I never called the number. So finally he called me, and the next thing you know, I'm talking to Vince McMahon on the phone, and the next thing you know, I'm on a plane going to New York City. And it's just been so crazy when I really look back at my career doing the music with Dick Clark, and then doing the music with the WWE, and being on the wrestling albums and touring with some of the biggest names in music, and then touring really with all the wrestlers that I had a chance to manage, like the Hart Foundation and the Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine and Dino Bravo, Adrian Adonis, Earthquake and Typhoon, and Hulk Hogan and Brutus, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. So it's been a pretty crazy trip for Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, and also I've watched you ever since you were in WCW. I've kind of followed you since then from that point on, but you've also gone by several different ring names over the years, such as like Stratmaster, Colonel, and the Memphis Chicken. How did that one come about?
Yeah, how did that come about?
Well, let me tell you what happened on the Memphis Chicken match. It was Jerry Lawler and the San Diego Chicken against myself and believe this or not, formerly the mayor of Minnesota, Jesse the Body Ventura. He was my tag team partner. And so I let him down. I lost the match. I had to wear a dead gum chicken outfit for a week all over the town. You know, I was in a big parade wearing the chicken outfit and did all the radio shows with the chicken outfit, TV shows with the chicken outfit. But you know what? We were lucky. Back on Monday nights, we had the Mid-South Coliseum, which held about 11,500 people. And every Monday night, when you think about a Monday night around the country, that's probably your weakest night doing anything, you know, because people are really kind of burnt themselves out over the weekend partying and everything. And so we were selling out week after week, and I managed the late, great Andy Coppin down there. I was managing him for over 2 years. I had a chance when I was in music to meet Elvis a couple of times, and Johnny Cash and Jerry Lewis and all the guys, because I was on the Sun record label too. And that's what's so cool about the shows this weekend. You know, I'm going to be with Urban R. Shyster, IRS, who I managed him along with Ted DiBiase. I'm going to be with Big Kevin Nash, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and me and my partner, we wrote the theme song for the Wolfpack song for him. And then you turn back around, Lex Luger. A lot of people don't know Lex Luger was going to be with us this weekend too. And I got to manage him down at WCW for a couple of months. And then, like I said, it's just been, and of course, Bob Backley, he's about the only person I didn't manage, but, you know, former major champion for the WWF back in the day at WWE. So it's going to be, I'm just name dropping a few names. Like I said, the card's just unbelievable. If I named everybody on the show, we'd be here talking about 4 hours.
Exactly. Let's bring in Chad. You know, Chad Clark from the owner of the IPO marketing group here. Chad, how did this all come? How did you get all these wrestlers to come to Southern Maryland? Because I know people in our area, Baltimore, knows about Baltimore with the Baltimore Arena, and you know that place was packed with WCW Nitro and all that stuff. How did you get people to come down to Southern Maryland for a Celebrity Fest, and then plus you have Maryland Chapter Championship Wrestling after you guys?
Yeah, well, that's how we kind of got it. Like to go down to Hollywood is, you know, I did a couple. I did one, and then I went to the guys at MCW and said, you know, how would you guys like to, you know, run a show after my convention? And they went for it, and we kind of threw our heads together. They put a good show together after Celeb Fest 2, and then right away we went to number 3, and then, you know, he said, well, what do you think about running 2 days? And I'm like, I've never done it, but hey, listen, let's do it. So, you know, they got the building, you know, they put a card together. You know, I called all my vendors and said, hey, we're going to try it 2 days and see how we do it. And then, you know, we got 25, 30 names down there, and then 50 on Sunday. So it's going to be a great weekend of wrestling here in Maryland.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be great. And Jimmy's going to be there. Jimmy, you're going to be there on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, both days. I'm going to make sure I'm there for both days. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be taking pictures, doing autographs, of course. And you know, that's what's so cool about these shows. It really gives you a chance to kind of be one-on-one with all the fans that have grew up watching us through the years. And, you know, I still bring my megaphone. I still wear the Jimmy Hart jackets and the crazy sunglasses, because I always like to give the people their money's worth.
Yeah, exactly. You got to. You know, you got to. You know, and people here in Maryland, you know, like Steve and I grew up watching WWE and WWF, and I want to ask you about when you managed Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. What was it like? You know, those two mega powers. Because it was one of those like Saturday night on NBC. They used to have
Saturday night in your house.
Saturday night, a main event on NBC. And I remember as a little kid growing up watching it, and my dad taped it, and the next morning I got up to watch it. It was like, that was pretty cool. What was it like having those two, like, a night, become one big power?
Well, you know what's so super about that? I managed Randy down in Memphis, a lot of people, and his brother Lanny Poffo, and so they were down there. Their dad was down there too, and they kind of joined our company down there. And I had him down there, and of course, I met Hunk like 43 years ago in Memphis, Tennessee. I was still doing the music then, and he was wrestling back then. And of course, I got to hang out with him up at WWE and WWF, of course. And so we just became good friends. And I left Memphis and moved down to Florida, and we've done projects together in and out of the ring all these years. We did Baywatch together, Thunder Paradise. We did just so many great things together. Matter of fact, I was with him last night over at his beach bar called Hogan's Hangout right here in Clearwater Beach, Florida. So I was with him with that. So we still do projects together, and like I said, it's just a thrill for me to when you're in the ring with a Ric Flair or a Hulk Hogan or a Randy Savage or any of these guys. It's just been, like I said, I pinch myself, and like I said twice already tonight, I really get paid for doing this all these years. And talking to you guys tonight, and I can tell how much y'all really love growing up watching professional wrestling too, and that's what makes it so cool when we talk to people like yourself who really know the business.
Yeah. I used to get yelled at by my mother, like, don't hit your brother that way. That is not the right way to doing it. I was like, but Mom, but Jimmy Hart said it's okay to do it.
Don't blame me.
Yeah. But it's fun when your kids growing up. We're growing up and we try to act out. It's you guys are entertainment showmen. Showing that folks have a good time and all that stuff. And yeah, we know the ring is kind of small when you get there for the first time you ever seen it, and you're like, "What happened to the ring? It used to be that big on TV." Yeah, But
well, you know what it really is. See, I've always said about this. I said when people go into a building, I don't care if it's 10,000 people there, 25,000 people, or 500. A ring is so important. When the people first come through that door, they look at the ring. If the ring looks nice and the mat cover is clean and looks good, the ropes are have got the tape around them that's shiny, and the poles are all painted, it just makes you feel like, boy, this is going to be great tonight. And like I said, that's one good thing about all these shows. Great music, great talent, like Chad said, and all the vendors are there. And when the vendors come out, I love walking around before the show starts, just looking at all the memorabilia that the vendors bring in. They have 8x10 pictures, they have action figures. Like I said, it's a great way to spend the day, a great way for a family to spend the day when you come out to these shows that Chad puts together like this. It's just awesome.
Exactly. Steve, you have one more question for Jimmy, because I know he's on the road. Let's make sure he gets home safely. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to say, Jimmy, in your illustrious career, both as a wrestler and then as a manager, in your role as the manager, who would you say was probably your best one that you led to the top?
Well, like I said, I've been so blessed and so lucky to be with so many great people. Like, of course, being with the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. I started out managing Neidhart at first in Memphis. Then when I went to New York, I managed him while I was in New York. And then they put Bret with us about 6 months later, and that just turned out to be a dream come true. All of us had close to the last name, Bret Hart, Jimmy Hart, Jim Neidhart, so that was great. And I had, and of course, being with the Hulkster later on down the line, and Brutus Beefcake, and then Greg Valentine. When I first went to New York, Greg Valentine put me under his wing and took care of me up there. And what a first-class act he really is. And then, of course, with the other stars, like one of the funniest teams I had was the Nasty Boys. I mean, they were wild and crazy, but Jacques Rougeau, I had him as the Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond, and of course him as the Mountie too. But like I said, looking back, it's been so unbelievable with all the people that I've been able to be associated with, and trust me, I've always felt like they were the Cadillac, and the managers were always the hood on the Cadillac. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I've just been so grateful. And then get a chance to do the music, coming from a musical background. And all of a sudden, I'm doing theme songs for Shawn Michaels and the Road Warriors, and me and my partner, Jim McGuire. And like I said, I love music and I love wrestling. So, like I said before, it's been a great marriage for me.
That's cool. Well, let's bring in Chad real quick before I let you guys go. Chad, where can people go to get tickets? I saw you have a GoDaddy site. Is that working this right now for people to go get tickets?
For the Hollywood show,
Yeah.
for the MCW and the Hollywood Celeb Fest, you can go to www.mcwprowrestling.com. And for Sunday at Glen Burnie for the Baltimore Celeb Fest, we have a website. It's baltimorecelebfest.com.
All right, cool,
You can
awesome.
ticket links there to get your tickets to come in the door. You can buy pre-sales for some of your wrestlers, your meet and greets, and that's just pretty much it. We're loaded and ready to go. Just a few days to go.
That's great. Well, Jimmy, I want to wish you a safe trip up to Maryland. Hopefully the weather's great for you for traveling and all that stuff. And thanks for taking some time on your trip back from Daytona. Drive carefully, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Hey, we love you guys. Thank you so much for having us on. See you, Chad, this weekend, baby.
All right, thanks.
Bye, guys.
All right, thanks, Chad. Thanks, Jimmy.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, folks. That's Jimmy Hart. And
Dude, that's got to be the pinnacle of the best person we've had on the show so far since we started doing this.
yeah, no, it's one of those cool things. We're trying to get some cool stuff here on the Sports Talk with, I know we went a little overboard with our time, schedule, but, hey, it's worth it when you get a chance to talk to some kids, some things you used to watch as a kid, and
Yeah, anything that you followed from when you were young, when you first realized what wrestling was, you're like, yeah, I want to watch this every day.
Yeah, I used to watch Saturday. They had Saturday mornings. They had
Saturday mornings, and
and then they had the main event on NBC, and and it was cool, and it's always good to realize you could talk to these people and they're just like us, human, and he's a showman, and he, and they got to put on a show for people,
Man.
So folks, thanks for joining us tonight here on the program. I know George is probably doing some disco dancing, but
he's doing his snow dance.
yeah. So folks, if you want to go on our Twitter page on Herb FM on Twitter, who is the best quarterback that played in the Super Bowl? I know Tom Brady retired today, but my vote goes to some guy named Joe Montana, folks, because Montana was perfect.
I'm just putting my heart thing in the ring. I'm just going to say is Roger Staubach.
Hey, Staubach was good too, So Staubach was very good as well. Before we go, we have some cool things that I forgot to before we got really busy with everybody, our guests tonight. On this date, Steve, on 2014, Ray Guy was the first true punter to get inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to play for the Oakland Raiders. Now they're Vegas Raiders. It doesn't have that ring to it,
Yeah, and I've always saying when I was watching it back in the old days, it was like kind of funny looking at a football game being played on a baseball field. It was just a little. It's just like it didn't fit.
No, it didn't fit at all. So he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He went to the Hall of Fame later that year, but he was inducted in the Hall of Fame after the vote, after the night before the Super Bowl and all that stuff. So folks, we'll be back on next week here on the program, back at 7:30 here on Tuesday night. Tuesday night at 7:30. We'll do some Super Bowl coverage. We'll talk to our good friend from the Bengals, our good friend Dave Lampin, who I texted the other day. I said congratulations on making it to the Super Bowl, and he texted me back. He goes, it was amazing, watching it from the radio booth. So so hopefully folks you could join us next Tuesday night at 7:30. And then we'll have some other great guests as well. So thanks for Jimmy Hart and also Chad Clark to join us from the IPO marketing group. Thanks for joining us. Also, thanks to Jake Lowley, the head coach and the manager of the Frederick Nationals, former JMU alumni. Scott Jackson from Liberty Baseball, and also Sherman Reed from Coppin State, baseball as well. We can't forget our good friend Matt Tyler, who's from Towson University. They're going to be taking on the University of Miami. So it's going to be down. It's not the U. It's going to be down because I'm a Seminole. So we don't like you, like Miami. But anyway, so it seems like I had hatred tonight. Both Florida and Miami.
I was going to say, what got into you?
I don't know. It was a lot of hatred
like
tonight. I was sitting here like looking at these games and like thinking,
if your brother, one of your one or two of your brothers are listening to this. They're probably sitting there waiting for you to go off the air, and then they're just gonna call you and be like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Exactly. Before we go, on this date in 1964, I just want to let you know that we do some music because we had Jimmy Hart on tonight, who did some music. The Beatles started their run of number one songs for 7 straight weeks with this song, and we're going to end the show with that. So I want you to hold your hand. So that was.
I'm not holding your hand.
No, you're not holding my hand. So, folks, we'll see you all next Tuesday.
See ya.
Tell you something I think you'll understand when I say that something I wanna